On December 7, 1941, a large plume of black smoke shrouded what should have been a beautiful morning. It was a date that would be etched in the annals of history, forever remembered as the day the United States was thrust into World War II. On that fateful morning, the tranquility of Pearl Harbor was shattered as Japan launched a surprise attack on the U.S. naval base.
In a chance hit, a bomb went down a smokestack of the Arizona and exploded the...
Crews on duty scrambled to escape Pearl Harbor and head out to open waters. Massive destruction ensued, and among the casualties were several American battleships. This devastating attack claimed the lives of 2,403 people, left 1,178 wounded, and resulted in the sinking or damaging of 21 ships in the Pacific Fleet. Amidst the horror that engulfed Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941, the Japanese attack involved not only large aircraft and battleships. They also sent unseen mini-submarines, like ghosts lurking beneath the surface of the water. One of these submarines, commanded by Kazuo Sakamaki, met an unexpected fate on the shores of Waimanalo, Oahu. The submarine ran aground, and Sakamaki was quickly captured by American military personnel. Sakamaki became the first prisoner of war captured by the Americans during the war. The mini-submarine was eventually salvaged and toured the United States as a promotional tool for selling war bonds.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan.
USS Arizona, a battleship that symbolized the strength of the U.S. Navy, met a tragic end in the attack. It was torn apart when a bomb exploded in its ammunition storage, claiming the lives of 1,177 officers and crew. Only 107 bodies could be identified among the casualties of USS Arizona. Meanwhile, USS Oklahoma was sunk by multiple torpedoes, causing 429 of its crew to perish as the ship capsized in Battleship Row. In the first 10 minutes of the battle, 8 torpedoes struck Oklahoma, causing it to begin sinking. And the 9th torpedo hit the sinking ship as it settled into the mud. Despite efforts to salvage and repair it, in 1946, when a private company bought the ship with the intention of taking it to California, it started taking on water and eventually sank to the depths of the Pacific, about 500 miles east of Hawaii. Amidst the tales of destruction, there was one battleship that defied its fate. USS Nevada, the only battleship that managed to get underway during the attack. However, its fate was no better. It was targeted by 1 torpedo and at least 6 bombs as it tried to escape Battleship Row, eventually running aground at Hospital Point. Nevada was later repaired and returned to duty as an escort for convoys in the Atlantic Ocean. Its journey continued throughout World War II. At one point, the Navy designated it as a target ship for nuclear experiments at Bikini Atoll. USS Nevada was decommissioned in 1946, and sunk by naval gunfire during a training exercise in 1948. USS California was another ship that sank during the attack but was later repaired. It lost 100 crew members that morning, suffering severe damage from flooding when it was hit by 2 torpedoes on the port side. Both torpedoes exploded below the belt armor, causing almost identical damage each time. A 250 kilograms bomb also struck the starboard upper deck, penetrating the main deck and exploding on the second deck, triggering an ammunition explosion and killing around 50 people. After being submerged in water for 3 days, USS California ran aground in the mud, with only its upper structure remaining above the water's surface. The ship was subsequently raised and repaired at Pearl Harbor's dry dock. USS California carried out numerous missions throughout the war and was finally decommissioned in February 1947. USS West Virginia, another witness to the bitter attack on Pearl Harbor. It was struck by 6 torpedoes and 2 bombs with deadly force. However, in May 1942, USS West Virginia was raised from the depths of the sea by pumping water out of its hull. Through technological miracles and unwavering determination, this battleship rose again from its ruins. After undergoing a long and arduous restoration, USS West Virginia returned to service as the backbone of the U.S. Navy fleet in defending freedom. Not only that, USS Cassin and USS Downes, 2 destroyers, were also victims of this devastating attack. When the attack occurred, both ships were in dry dock at Pearl Harbor. A detonation bomb ignited a fire in the fuel tanks of USS Downes. USS Cassin slipped from its blocks and collided with USS Downes, which was subsequently destroyed by an uncontrollable fire. The 2 ships were considered lost, but their engines and equipment were salvaged and sent to Mare Island Navy Yard, where new ships were fully constructed using the remnants of the destroyed vessels, bearing the same names and hull numbers. USS Oglala, a minelayer ship that served as the flagship of the Pacific Mine Force, met a tragic fate in the intense attack by Japanese torpedo planes. In that devastating attack, a torpedo struck the hull of the minelayer, quickly causing it to take on water and sink to the ocean floor. The ship was later salvaged through an extraordinary rescue effort. USS Oglala continued its brave service until 1965, after being converted into an internal combustion engine repair ship named ARG-1. The USS Arizona Memorial lies submerged in water approximately 12 meters deep, and the evacuation efforts proved to be extremely challenging. It is estimated that around 900 bodies remain entombed within the ship's wreckage. In 1942, USS Arizona was deemed a total loss and could not be raised and repaired. After the end of World War II, in 1958, legislation was approved to establish a memorial for USS Arizona. However, there was no federal funding allocated for its construction. Fortunately, legendary singer Elvis Presley made a notable contribution by holding a charity concert at Pearl Harbor, which raised over $64,000. Construction began in 1960, and within 2 years, the memorial was completed. On May 30, 1962, the USS Arizona Memorial was officially dedicated. This white concrete and steel structure spans 184 feet and crosses the remnants of the ship. The memorial was designed by Alfred Prees, an Austrian-born architect who was interned in the United States after the Pearl Harbor attack. Through the beauty and solemnity of this memorial, we hear the unspoken voices, the cries, sacrifices, and resilience of those trapped in time. We honor the heroes who will never be forgotten. And that concludes the story of the American warships after experiencing the attack from the Japanese Empire. Thank you for watching this video, and don't forget to share if you found it valuable. Once again, thank you, and see you next video.